Hey guys, it is Lupe here from Team Empire, and we just got done with the Nexus circuit tournament here at Game Guys in Houston. I ended up doing pretty good today. I got 10th, and we had a top cut of 16th, and top 16 got an invite to their grand finale that's going to happen either sometime at the end of this year or next year, given how many tourneys we have. And right now they're actually playing it out for top 8, so stay tuned because we're going to have 2 deck profiles from the top 8 cut, which is really exciting. The team did really well today. And we're going to be going over the deck that I played today, which is a real favorite of mine, and y'all on the channel will know that. So to start off with, we have the W sleeve, and we have our right deck for Orfist Masques. So it's just the standard right deck. It's our boy Phoebe, Rotis, Cubicia, and Regis. Nothing really to say about this. I've seen some Orfist Masques players still play Combine instead of Cubicia, but I think Cubicia is just much better. If you're playing a Regis build, then probably Combine, but that's basically it for the red line. And then just a quick flex, we will show we do have all 5 Shadow Army SPs, which go crazy.
Yes, sir.
I used to only have 2, so sometimes today I'd be searching for where are my 2 SPs when they're all SPs now. Well, now we'll move on to the main deck. Starting off with our grade 3s. So we run the 4 copies of Orfist Masques. Oh, one thing I will say, which I forgot to say at the beginning of the video, this was a 50 card main deck tournament. We're not at the date yet for it to hit, but this was like 1 or 2 weeks away, so we're doing it now already. And I will point out the 4 extra cards. That way, if you're wondering, let's say you have a tourney this week and it's still the 46 card main deck, and then now you'll know what my extra 4 slots are. But here we have the 4 copies of Orfist Masques. He's our main boss of the deck. I think almost everyone knows what he does. It was a very popular card when the set dropped. And Orfist has always been my favorite Brand Gate avatar, so I'm really excited that I get to play him today. And then this is my first of the extra 4 slots. We want to run extra Regis. And you can actually mass switch into Orfist, so you can ride over him. Superior set order, which for me it's usually the drawing one. And then you just mass switch back into Orfist Masques and you get Persona Ride, and then you get the removal skill again, which is really strong.
How many times did that come up today?
I would say it happened 2 times today, the mass switch, but the second removal probably happened 4 out of the 6 games.
That's pretty good.
So I think the mass switch is pretty good. Then we'll move on to the orders in the deck. We run 2 copies of the Mask of Hydrogrim. I don't think you need any more than 2. Anything less would be really, really scary. So I think 2 is just optimal. Nothing else to say about the mask. Then we get to our worlds. I do 3 Overcoming, 4 Hollowing to draw, and then let's fit them all in there. And then I run 2 Eclipse, which W, we got the alt art. So for me, this is the ideal order lineup. I've seen some people run this is their ratio, so they have more Overcoming. To me, that's more greedy than the deck needs to be. I think you need to keep drawing as much as possible in this deck, even before you get the triple drive, and even after you get triple drive. Sometimes you have Phantom Hand, and this is what your hand is. So playing more of these allows you to draw extra triggers for shield, or extra Polar Arxes, or Opart. So I think you need to run the full 4 of this. And the rest is really up to your playstyle, but I think a 2-2 split for the other 2 orders is pretty optimal. And you're able to set all of them pretty easily throughout the game. Then move on to our grade 2s. We have our 4 Cyber, just so that we can search the Mask of Hydrogrim, create a Dragon Tree marker. Sometimes you can even create 2 to 3. There was actually one game where I had 3 Dragon Tree markers, so I just kept calling Cyber just to push for a number. And it ended up helping me close game, because I mean 3 Dragon Tree markers is pretty hard to deal with all the multi-attack. Then we run 4 Polar Arxes. I really wish this guy had hollows or FRs. This card is insane. I love this card. When he was revealed, it literally felt like a fan-made card, and he's just so good for the deck. We love Polar Arxes. You know, he draws us cards, he superior sets a world. Very strong card. And then these are the last 3 slots of the extra 4. I put in 3 Grunder because on reveal, a lot of people wanted to find a way to fit both of these cards in, but there just wasn't enough space. Well, now you have more than enough space since we have the 4 extra slots. So I put 3 Grunder, and for those of y'all that don't know what Grunder does, on play, he mills from the top 7 2 worlds, up to 2 worlds. And they don't have to be the same or different name. You can do whatever worlds you want. And then at the end of the battle that he attacks, if you're in Dark Knight, he can kill himself to add an order back to hand. And it doesn't really get in the way of playstyle because you can have him in the front and then your other column, and let's say this is an Opart. So you just swing with the Opart and then you'll still be able to call a Shadow Army to the front off of Opart's skill. So, and then you'll have an order to set for next turn. I chose to do this for the competitive event, but another card you could run instead of him is Cool Jamid, and Cool Jamid is a 15k shield card. He gets plus 10k shield if you're on Dark Knight, and he can get boost if you're in Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, and he can intercept from the back row. I think it's a really good pick still, but if you're going more competitive play, I would run Grunder because he's thinning the deck along with Opart, so you have more chances to check Mask and more chances to check triggers. We'll move on to the grade 1s. We run 4 of the boy. Opart is a really strong card, and unlike Polar Arxis, he doesn't care when he's retired, just as long as he's retired. If you have an Orfist Masques Vanguard, you'll get another Shadow Army token. So there was one game where I had just called him down, and I'd only had 1 world, so I just superior set my world to summon 2 Shadow Armies because it was the only way I could get attackers before battle phase. So we just run 4 of him. And his skill, his second skill actually comes up a lot. Or his first skill, I mean. The on-play CB1 Search a World and Mill It. It comes up a lot, and it helps a lot with Polar Arxis. Then we have our 4 PGs, 1 Elementaria, since we can run it. Elementaria is very strong. It's going to get stronger when Shiranui comes out and Luord. So if we can fit it in, definitely fit it. And then we just run the goated PGs. Then to finish off, we have our triggers. 1 Elder Breath. Really nothing special to say about Elder Breath. Everybody knows what he does. Elder Breath goes crazy. I think it only came up 1 game, but it came up and it did help. Then we have 4 heal, obviously, but 3 regular and then 1 restander. Until Shiranui comes out, this is going to be mine. I think this is pretty optimal for the meta because a lot of decks have restanders, like the top decks, like Vivace, sorry, and Jeweled, so this helps quite a bit. But when Shiranui comes out, I'll probably have it like this, a 2-2, or I might even just keep it that way. But I would definitely suggest playing testing with at least 1 of them if you haven't done so far, because there's a lot of restanders in the meta right now. Yep. Then we run 4 draw, because like I said, we want to keep drawing as much as possible. And you don't have to worry about deck out because games will not go on that long. If it's gone on that long, it's either a really weird game or a really good game. That's all I can say. And this helps you see your Moors early game, and then late game it helps you draw into Polar Arxis and Opart. So it's really good. And then the last, we have just critical triggers. We have 7 critical triggers. This really doesn't matter. They're just my favorite arts of them. We run the 1 SP to complete the mural, but that's basically about it. These are just standard crits. This, I mean, it could come up, but I mean, realistically, it never does, but it can. But that's pretty much it for the deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed the other deck profiles that will be posted. This was a really fun event. Again, it's here in Houston, and there will be a lot more throughout the year. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.